Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Northwest Surgery Center. Menards. And by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome to the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week. We are presented by Northwest Surgery Center. We're live at Muskego High School as the Warriors take on the Wolverines from Waukesha West. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan, and this is the Fan pregame show. I'm joined by the two head coaches tonight's game, Ken Krause from Muskego, Steve Rux from Waukesha West. Coach, let's start with you. 2-0. Not really been challenged yet in the non-conference. Wondering how you're feeling about this year's team.
I'm feeling very, very good about this year's team. This is probably the hardest our kids have ever worked in my 9 years at Muskego. Our kids are extremely coachable. Literally have not had to raise my voice one time and get on a kid. The work ethic is unbelievable in our football program right now. I'm very proud of our kids.
Hey, Coach, same question for you, 1-1. You traveled to Indiana last week, played a really good team down in Indiana. Wondering how you're feeling about this group?
I feel really good about them. Like Ken was saying, it's really what they do in the summertime, that hard work, that great work ethic. I think our chemistry is good. Our leadership is excellent. Played against a very good Carmel Catholic team down in Illinois last week. Came up short, but we found some things about ourselves. And so hopefully we got those mistakes corrected coming in tonight.
Yeah, I meant Illinois, not Indiana. Sorry about that, Coach. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this conference. You know, on my high school coaches show, I talk about this conference, and it used to get a little questions when I'd say it's the best football conference in the state of Wisconsin, and nobody questions that anymore. Does that keep you up at night, Coach, knowing each week it's going to just be a tough battle?
Well, you definitely have to take it week by week. You know, you can't look too far ahead. You got to focus on that week that you have because anybody can beat you, and you need every win if you're going to make it into the playoffs. And so you figure out where you're at towards the end, and there really isn't a week off.
No, there really isn't. Coach, same question for you. This conference is just from top to bottom. 3 teams in the state finals last year, and from top to bottom, there just is not an easy putt anywhere.
No, every program has great coaches. They have communities that are really into it. I always say it's the South SEC of college football is the Classic 8 in the state of Wisconsin. It's a great conference. It's fun to be in, but it's a challenge every week, that's for sure.
It is, Coach. We talked non-conference in the beginning. You guys had Oconomowoc lined up, and some things happened, so you played Bradley Tech. Is it hard not to know how your kids are going to react when they get in a tough game?
Well, the good thing is we played Brookfield Central, West Bend, South Milwaukee in our scrimmage. Brook Central is one of the best teams in the state, so we've had some pretty good competition. You know, obviously, Bradley Tech's they're not quite at the level of a Waukesha West, but the good thing about that is it gets all of our kids in the game. We get to work on some things, find out about some kids, and then you come to the conference schedule kind of feeling a little bit like you know who your starters are, top backups are.
Guys, we're going to cut you loose. Thank you for that, Coach. We're going to cut you loose. On the other side of the break, Terry Kelly. John Weiser gets you the keys to the game. This is the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week only on My 24.
Welcome back to Muskego, everyone, as we get set for our Thursday Night Lights matchup tonight, a Classic 8 conference opener as the Muskego Warriors get set to take on the Waukesha West Wolverines. Along with Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you. Should be an exciting matchup here. These two teams have split their last 4 matchups between each other, but it'll be an interesting game.
Well, these are the heavyweights in the Classic 8, and each of them wants to get off to a 1-0 start in the league.
Yeah, it's very rare that you open up a conference and right away you start the gauntlet.
Right. In the Classic 8, to get 4 wins in this league is a real challenge.
Let's talk about the Muskego Warriors. They're off to a 2-0 start. They've outscored their opponents 111-0, and they've only given up 54 total yards.
Well, they haven't been challenged, and so tonight they want to see what the real team is like for the Warriors.
Waukesha West 1-1. They split their 2 non-conference games. They defeated Watertown and lost last week to Carmel Catholic out of Mundelein, Illinois. So they're in it tonight to try and bounce back.
Right, and they know that they've got a really firm foundation with the team, but they got to see, okay, can we bounce back after taking that loss?
A couple of players we're going to keep an eye on here tonight for Muskego. We'll start first on offense. Alex Kalisnik and Tim Springle. Talk about them.
Well, Kalisnik you're going to find all over the field. Tight end, split end. He'll be in the backfield, and Springle's an outstanding offensive tackle.
And on the defensive side, I don't think you're going to find a pair of harder hitters than these two.
They refer to them as their dynamic duo, Mitch Sutherland and A.J. Spicala. Two very, very tough guys, both played a lot last year.
For Waukesha West, they've got an outstanding running back in Peter McCudden.
Been starting since he's a freshman, plays both ways. He's the only fella for Waukesha West going both ways.
And Bryce Teixeira, the junior offensive lineman.
Not only an intelligent young man, but a very strong young man.
And on defense, we're talking the firm.
Well, we were kidding about this. We've got Kabisky, Baker, Huggett, and Harrison. It sounds like a law firm. The front four, and Coach Rux wanted us to mention those four guys. And Tommy Leitner returns as a safety, outstanding ball hawk.
Time now for our Badger Max keys to the ball game tonight. How do we have it drawn up?
Coach Krause had the word finish. Finish tackles, finish drives, finish the quarter, finish the game. One of their big principles. They want to make sure that they get some takeaways. They think that's a key. Get Waukesha West off the field and carry out fakes. If you're going to run the wing T offense, you have to fake the ball well.
And for the Wolverines tonight, what do they need to do?
Well, Coach Ruck said we can't make any special team mistakes. They felt that cost the game for them with Carmel. They want to make sure that they are having a passing game so Muskego can't load up in the box. And the other thing they need to do, they have to get stops. Otherwise, these guys can control the ball.
West won the matchup last year 28-21. Kickoff coming your way next right here on My 24. Calendar has flipped. We turn from August to September tonight as the Muskego Warriors get set to take on the Waukesha West Wolverines in Pro Athletic Field in Muskego. Full house here tonight for this Classic 8 conference matchup as we get set for this one here tonight. A breezy evening, temperatures in the 60s, going to fall into the 50s as we get toward the fourth quarter. And right now we're getting set to enjoy our national anthem tonight as we will have the Muskego Marching Band, some 200 members strong marching band, going to perform our anthem here tonight. So we're excited for that, and we'll have some features on the band coming up a little bit later on in our broadcast this evening. Our entire crew is here: Mike McGivern, Kara, John Weiser, Terry Kelly, and our entire My 24 sports crew ready for this one here tonight. The Army Color Guard making their way in from the 20-yard line, standing, and we're just about set for our national anthem. Once again, the Muskego High School Marching Band.
We welcome the members of the United States Army who are joining us tonight for Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. Direct your attention to the field near the officials, as tonight's color guard is presented by members of the United States Army. Be strong, Army strong. To honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask those who are able to stand and remove your hat, place your hand over your heart for the playing of the national anthem by the 2016-2017 MHS Marching Band.
Muskego High School Marching Band with our national anthem, along with the United States Army Color Guard and the Muskego High School Honor Guard, presenting the colors here tonight. Again, a breezy evening. That wind gusting out of the northeast at about 20-25 miles per hour. Expect that to die down as our ball game wanes into the second half. Well, prior to tonight's game, Andrew Burns of Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks, along with our officiating crew and team captains, took part in the pregame coin toss. We're proud and excited to have Badger Max, a Wisconsin product, is a big part of our Thursday Night Lights telecast this season. And again, we thank you to Andrew. And as you can see, Muskego won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. So the Waukesha West Wolverines will receive. That's Keith Nault, our referee here tonight. Father Dale watching back home. He's probably got the clipboard out. He's going to critique this crew down tonight, isn't he?
His dad was an excellent official, one of those fellas you could always depend on to be rock solid and consistent.
Waukesha West 1-1 on the year. They beat Watertown and then ran into a tough second half against Carmel last week down in Mundelein.
Well, Coach Rux thought some special team mistakes really cost him a blocked punt, and twice they kicked to the person he referred to as the fastest human in the world, regardless of the Olympics, and a couple of long returns by Carmel really hurt Waukesha West.
West will go right to left into the wind here in this first quarter. Leitner, Hudson, and Zhang standing deep, 3 across. Set to kick off for the Muskego Warriors, Lucas Amaya, a sophomore, left foot kicker. He'll have the wind at his back here tonight.
Yeah, Amaya, a very strong kicker on the year. He's 14 for 14 on his extra points.
He's been busy.
Yes, yes.
Again, they've outscored their opponents 111-0 in the 2 non-conference games, shutting out both Racine Park and Bradley Tech.
Well, part of their kicking game will be unveiled tonight. They have not punted yet this season, so that'll be something we'll be seeing.
Warriors in the all-black, Wolverines in the white, and here we go. Week 3 of the high school football season underway, and it'll be a deep kick to the goal line. With it is Leitner. He'll run it up the middle, gets to the 15, and he's buried short of the 20-yard line. So, in on the stop, Jake Schreier, I should say, the linebacker. As we set the offense for Waukesha West, Kobza is the quarterback. Again, the running back to keep an eye on tonight will be McCudden. The offensive line to share on that left tackle, and Gannon the center, 2-year starters. Gannon the captain on that offense. They'll go I formation from the 18-yard line. Man in motion to the far side is Dobrik, and the handoff McCudden. He's got some room around the near corner, across the 20, and ushered out of bounds across the 25-yard line. Good strong run.
McCudden, a real hard-nosed runner, emerged as a freshman state championship game. When he was a freshman, he scored 2 touchdowns.
Got the edge here that time. Bryce Schur there again, making the stop. Gain of 7 on the play, sets up 2nd down 3. Again, they'll work out of the I formation. 2 receivers split to the right side. The man in motion, the slot back coming near side. And again, McCudden gets the call. Spins out of a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Stiff arms to the 30, down the near sideline and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Good stiff arm that time. Got him the extra yardage before Kyle Hammett ushered him out of bounds.
Yeah, he's 195 pounds, extremely strong. And you see him just bounce off one excellent straight arm, decides why take the beating, heads out of bounds after the first down.
Gain of 19 out to the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. All our first downs again this season brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Again, faked it. McCudden, Kobza in trouble. Breaks out of 1 tackle and is pulled down at the 40-yard line for a loss of 4.
Looked like they had a little miscommunication in the backfield there at times.
There's the defense, a 33 defense employed by Ken Krause.
Going to be people shifting and stemming all over the field. At any point in time, they're probably going to be bringing 4 guys on a rush, but you're not sure on offense where they're coming from.
Spicala and Sunderland, the 2 guys to keep an eye on, the inside linebackers for Muskego. They're the 2 leading returning tacklers from a year ago. So a loss of 4 sets up 2nd and 14 at the 40-yard line. Obza on the draw play. Good extra yardage that time after the initial contact. Again, McCudden fighting his way forward out to the 45-yard line, make it the 46. Gain of 6. It'll bring up a 3rd and manageable now for the Wolverines.
Yeah, in 2 games this year, Peter's already rushed for 348 yards, picking up where he was last year. And he wasn't a full-time starter in the offensive backfield last year, but still ran for over almost 600 yards last year.
And a reminder, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You'll find all of our games, videos, and photos from all season long right there. My24milwaukee.com. 3rd and 8, play action fake. They come back near side. Nice catch coming back to it, Aaron Carl. And he's shoved out of bounds at the 39 of Muskego. Picks up another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Good play fake that time carried out by Kobza.
Well, one of the keys we said at the beginning of the game was that Waukesha West had to have their passing game be effective so that Muskego couldn't load the box and take away the run.
Aaron Carl with a nice grab, and then he was rudely hit out of bounds by Sutherland. But down to the 39-yard line. 15 on the play. 1st and 10 Wolverines. McCudden again trying to get to the outside. Can't do it. First man in there was Spicala, A.J. Spicala, the junior, inside linebacker. 79 tackles a year ago, 7 tackles for losses. Honorable mention, all conference from a season ago.
And the entire Muskego defense, you saw them move to their left and really fill all the lanes, not giving them any cutbacks.
That's Coach Krause. He wants them to play downhill on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Kobza going to air it out over the middle. Contact, juggling, catch made inside the 10. Mark him down at the 8, 1st and goal. Waukesha West, Brian Dobrik, the 6'2 senior, going up to get that one for the Wolverines.
Yeah, they had 2 men in coverage on him that time, and he came down with the ball.
32 yards and a 1st and goal now as we enter the power zone. Again, we thank the great folks at Goodwill. This season, when a team drives inside their opponent's 20-yard line, they've entered the power zone. Brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. 1st and goal Wolverines, ball at the 7-yard line. McCudden, the tailback, dotting the I. He'll get the call. Over the left side, fumbles the football. It's out inside the 5, and it looks like the Wolverines fell back on top of it. Like a fullback, Tyler Zerpoli leads him through the hole, led him back to the football that time.
Yeah, Zerpoli last year was starting center for him, and he trimmed down a little bit in the offseason, and he's in the backfield as a fullback, leading the way for McCudden on many of those plays.
We watched practice Monday, the defense for Muskego. That's what they were practicing. Guys standing, the first man standing the runner up, the other guy coming in to strip the football. Like it was Shure who forced that one in. And getting down to the goal line, just short. And they are going to call it a touchdown. Quick signal there, touchdown. Waukesha West, McCudden. His 4th touchdown of the year. One more look.
Got a good surge offensive backfield, and he hit one hole wider, but Bryce Tashura, Sam Hendricks on that left side, Kyle Gannon, Matt Vitale, and Christian Sheedy. Coach Rux always has an outstanding offensive line, one of the best offensive line coaches in the state.
Remmers on for the extra point. It is up, and it is no good. Missed it to the left. 6-0 Waukesha West, but they started an impressive opening drive here, going nearly 4 minutes. Marching right down the field, a couple of big plays. Let's head downstairs to our Menard sideline report and our first visit tonight with Kara.
Thank you very much. I've got Dr. Rhoda Woolley of Wisconsin Lutheran College, the Dean of Student Success. Can you tell us a little bit about Wisconsin Lutheran College?
Sure. We're a Christian liberal arts college located on the border of Milwaukee and Wauwatosa. We have 38 undergraduate degree programs as well as an accelerated adult degree completion program and a graduate program.
And what sets WLC apart from other colleges?
Sure. We are committed to the success of our students. We also, our goal is to have ethical Christian leaders who go out into the world and impact their families, their communities, their careers, and have a significant impact.
And where can folks at home that are interested in learning more about WLC go for information?
Sure, we would love to have you come visit our campus. You can find out more at wlc.edu.
Well, thank you so much for joining us down on the sideline, and back to you guys.
Kara, thank you so much. Glad to have Wisconsin Lutheran College back on board this season. Impressive opening drive here for Waukesha West.
Well, the first two games, the opponents were not up to the level of Waukesha West. It'll be interesting to see Muskego's response now that they found themselves having to compete, tough opposition.
First points given up on the year by the Muskego defense. This will be a short kick taken by the front man, rolling his way up. Jake Kubiski. And here one more look at that drive, an 8-play, 82-yard drive taking nearly 4 minutes for the Wolverines.
Well, we had mentioned at the beginning of the game, no special team mistakes, and they missed that extra point. So that's one of those things that we'll see if that has an impact as we go further into the game.
Frankie Sestaro, the quarterback for Muskego. They'll run a little misdirection on the end around. Got a hole coming around the near side. Kodarak, Justin Kodarak wrestled down at the Wolverine 35-yard line.
One of the things that happened in that play, Muskego came out in unbalanced line, something we had seen him practice. However, during the week, Waukesha West was anticipating that and was working against it. I just don't think they recognized it quickly enough.
Gain of 30 down to the 35 of Waukesha West. Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for the Warriors. Sestaro gives it to Cody Krause. Krause barrels his way across the left side inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Here's a look at the Muskego offense. And Sestaro at quarterback. Backs are Kotarik and Krause. Interior line, very good one. Joe Meyer and Tim Springle on that left side. Very good. Springle moved from center this year to left tackle. Again, Kotarak. This time he's met behind the line, and he's going to be buried back at the 35-yard line. The Wolverines were ready for that play. Getting in there right away. Paul Schneider was right there as we look at the defense for the Wolverines. A 44 look, more of a classic defense look.
Right, and at practice this week, one of the things Waukesha West was working on is after we see the offensive line come up and give that little Dallas Cowboy set, the linebackers will shift one way or the other to try to cover up a hole.
Loss of 3 on the play to bring up 3rd and 9 here for the Warriors. Style gets them set, and now we got movement and a flag down.
Now you saw those linebackers for West move opposite. Muskego has got an unbalanced set to their left, trying to get them outnumbered.
False start.
First penalty of the ball game. Keith Nault, our referee. So now it sets up a 3rd and 14 now for Muskego.
Well, Sestaro on the year is 6 of 11 passing. Brand new starter. They had an excellent quarterback last year, Wagner, tremendous athlete.
Again, they'll run around on the end around. Kotarik inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line, short of the first down. With a nice gain, more manageable down here, deep inside Waukesha West territory.
And Coach Krause has made his decision already. They're going for it.
So it'll be 4th and 3, 5.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Muskego trailing for the first time tonight, 6-0. First time this year trailing in a ball game. And again, they'll try that same play. Got a block, steps out of a tackle. Kotarek inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Peter McCudden, who's the only player that goes both ways here for Waukesha West, there to make the stop.
Yeah, they ran right through tackle of number 21. McCudden came all the way from his linebacker position, flowed to the outside.
First visit tonight, let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey, wide receivers coach at Waukesha West, asking those wide receivers to block a little bit longer. Think they can get some long runs if their wide receivers block a little bit. Watch for that next time they get the ball.
Fake to Krause, or a handoff to Krause, I should say, as it takes it inside the 15, may have gotten the 14-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see a replay of that play, but if you watch the back who didn't get the ball run the fake out to its full extent.
Well, we heard that plenty in practice on Monday too from Ken Krause. Finish your fakes.
Yeah, the linebackers have to read the keys of the guards to know where that ball is going.
Second down 9, ball inside the 15-yard line. It's time they hand it off. This is Medea. Medea inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line, close to another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Brought down on the play by Tommy Leitner. So first and goal now for Muskego as they try and answer Waukesha West on their opening drive. Inside the Goodwill Power Zone. First trip into the Power Zone tonight for Muskego. Starro will hand it off, fighting for the goal line. Touchdown, Muskego. Krause able to punch it in from 3 yards out. 5th touchdown of the year for Krause.
When we were at practice this week, we were trying to see if we could get Cody to say anything about the head coach, who happens to be his father, and he just smiled. He wasn't going to be baited.
Good surge off that right side. Opened up the hole. And give some credit to Sam Kurth and Braden Wagner over there on that right side, and the extra point is up and through. 7-6, Muskego on top of Waukesha West. We'll take our break. Thursday Night Lights, our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. (7-6), Muskego answers the Wolverines. Midway through our first quarter here in Muskego. Tim Allen plays a family man who tries to maintain his masculinity in a house full of women. It's Last Man Standing, weeknights at 6 and 6:30, starting September 19th, right here on My 24. So Muskego, trailing for the first time all year, comes right back on a snappy drive. This one will drift into the end zone for a touchback. Momentum taking the receiver into the end zone. Automatic touchback on the high school level.
Oh, we wondered how Muskego would respond. We certainly saw that they were up to the challenge. They have a lot of confidence in their offense. Coach Krause, excellent master of the wing tee.
There's the 65-yard drive. Burned off 4 minutes. Krause's 5th touchdown of the year already.
And as we see the clock, we're down to 3:49 already. Game moves quickly with 2 running teams.
Zerpoli the fullback, McCudden the tailback out of the eye. 1st and 10. Give us to McCudden. Big hole up the middle. McCudden getting it across the 25, maybe the 26-yard line before he is driven back there. McGuire was there. Joran McGuire, nose tackle. 6'5", 295, and a senior.
Yeah, a little bit of a trap play. McCudden cut back.
So gain of 5 sets up 2nd and 5. One more look. Cut it back to the left. Working behind Teixeira and Henricks. Left tackle, left guard. This time they'll pitch it. High hurdling that time, cutting out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Should have enough for a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. One more look.
Yeah, very good leg drive by McCudden. Defense makes initial contact, and he just keeps driving. Takes 4 guys to bring him down.
He's one of those guys that's built for that stat yards after contact.
Right.
See, the yards after catch, you talk about receivers, but for the running backs, it's yards after contact.
Right.
How many tackles do you break? And, McCudden's a tough guy to bring down. 5'9", 195. Get a look at Steve Rux, head coach for Waukesha West.
Always has kind of a cerebral look. As a matter of fact, I think he just called a timeout, wants to set something up.
So a timeout taken by Waukesha West. And they're first to the ball game. 2.5 minutes to go, trailing by 1. Let's head down to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
So guys, I've known Lisa Wallersheim-Hudson for a long time. And she got me out of a speeding ticket not long ago, so I need to thank her for that. She's also the team photographer, Waukesha West. Her son is number 5, Dane Hudson. When he's playing and you're taking pictures, can you separate the two, being mom and the photographer?
I try to, but a lot of his pictures that I take are always blurry because I'm trying to look above the camera and in the camera. So his are not the best pictures.
She's a detective with Wauwatosa. Thank you so much for all you do. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet. Guys, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you, and thank you, Lisa. 7-6 Muskego. Following the Wolverine timeout, a 1st and 10 for Waukesha West at their own 32-yard line. Kobza will go to the gun here. Sends Dobrik in motion. They'll give it to McCudden. McCudden met at the line of scrimmage, falls forward, got a couple. As he was met immediately on the exchange that time.
We're going to see Waukesha West in a variety of sets. Not only will they run out of that I formation, they're going to be in a spread. They've got a little diamond gun that they run, various sets. And they keep one of the features now with modern day football. You've got the iPad right there on the side, and you can check what's going on.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 34-yard line. He's going to look at Robert Kobza, the junior quarterback for West. From the gun with time. Far sideline, has the man there, and Dobrik, it was Sam Regenfelder. Had the ball in his hands, but unable to hang on. Kyle Hammett, the outside linebacker, able to knock that one away. Had it in his hands, and that's what you teach the defensive or the linebacker that time, run right through the receiver. That's exactly what he did, and that broke up that pass.
Well, Kyle, an excellent student, 3.84 GPA. Imagine he studied what the roots are like and was able to jump that.
Pretty good baseball player as well. Blitz coming here. They pick it up, try and come back on the screen, and McCudden with the catch, able to step out of one tackle, but then is wrestled down short of the first down by Bryce Schuer. 4 tackles already tonight for Schuer as we get another look.
Muskego read that play very well, but once again, McCudden, hard driving runner that he is, still was able to gain some yards.
This is our fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. Fancy footwork replay of the first quarter. Michael Cressy on to punt, and we got penalty markers before the snap.
Might be against Muskego.
Got a false start here, I think, against the Wolverines. Yep. So each team with a penalty here in this first quarter.
Waukesha West coaches were begging the referee to call that the other way, but
So 5 yards further back for Cressy, the senior punter. Honorable mention all conference a season ago here in the Classic 8. Will bounce and die inside the 40-yard line. Mark it down at the 37-yard line. That's where Muskego will get the ball back with 45 seconds to go here in our first quarter. 1-point ball game.
Oh.
Let's take a look at the stats from the last two ball games here. That was the Bradley Tech Muskego game last week.
Yeah, only 21 carries, but for 333 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And then Waukesha West against Carmel Catholic. We'll get to that one right after this play, just for a comparison's sake, as Sestaro gets them set on first down. He will hand it off. Coming back is Medea with the carry. Gets it out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Here's Waukesha West. They lost 24-17, but again, McCudden, 21 carries for 172 yards. And then at linebacker, he had 10 tackles and 2 sacks.
Right.
And again, he's the only player that goes both ways.
Right. Got to be a tired young man at the end of the game.
Unbelievable. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Final seconds here of this first quarter. Krause trying to get the edge left side, nothing doing. A stout Wolverine defense able to turn him away. And that will end our first quarter here in Muskego. Good one brewing here tonight. Classic 8 conference opener for both teams. Muskego up over Waukesha West 7-6. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. Each team scoring on their opening drives tonight, and it's Muskego up by 1, 7-6. Here in the beautiful community of Muskego tonight, Classic 8 conference opener for both schools. Muskego facing 3rd and 4 from their own 43, working it right to left here in the second quarter. And again, they'll hand it off on the end around. Katarik trying to get the edge, and he's not going to make the first down. He's going to get it out to the 45, about a yard or two shy of the first down. So the Wolverines defense very good here in this opening drive. Tommy Leitner with another stop there defensively.
Yeah, he and Paul Schneider, the strong safety, combined to help get that stop. Stayed home, fought through that block very well.
Once again, down to the sideline, a Menard sideline report with Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, I've got two friends over on the other sidelines, Chris Gavodovic and Kerry Hazley, watching the Muskego sidelines. Defensive coaches talking about go after the ball. They think they might be able to get a fumble or two in this game, and they're stressing that. Look, we talked about the whole practice, go after the ball on defense.
That's been the MO for Muskego the last several years. Hunter Albanese there is down there on coverage or on the special teams, along with Dane Hudson, I should say.
Just saw the first punt this season for Muskego.
So caught and knee down at the 19-yard line by Hudson. So it'll be 1st and 10 Waukesha West at their own 19-yard line. Just underway second quarter, 1-point game. McCudden chugs his way across the 20, working that left side out to about the 22-yard line, pick up about 3 before he was driven back there.
Yeah, I was following in behind Bryce DeShura and Sam Henricks. Bryce, 6'3", 285-pound junior. Played guard last year. They moved him out to tackle this year, and he's doing very well. And Sam is a 5'11", 215-pound senior.
Look at that Wolverine defense. Getting the first stop of the ball game tonight, forcing Muskego for their first punt of the year. 2nd and 7 from the 22. Looking it out of the gun, they get it back to McCudden. Breaks a couple of tackles across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. Just shy of a first down. Zalecki there to finally get him on the turf, but a couple of tackles right at the line of scrimmage once again.
As Zalecki, basketball and baseball player as well, all-around athlete. Many of the fellas for Muskego are multi-sport athletes.
So 3rd and short, 3rd and about 2. The 29-yard line. Wolverines are going to go and hurry up here. Give it to McCudden. And McCudden's second effort going to be close.
Close.
Very close. All season, Mike and Kara will have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in the schools and communities we visit. All season long, our sideline reports being brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Keith Knowlton, his officiating crew looking, and they're going to bring the chains in here to measure this one off.
You willing to make a guess right now, John?
He's going to be short by about the nose of the football. Okay, 3 links shy.
Well, it depends whose nose you're talking about, right? That would have a lot to do with determining that.
Missed it by that much. Again, great effort on that defense there. That second effort by Addison Price, especially the inside linebacker, to turn McCudden sideways or parallel with that line of scrimmage right there. Not allowing him to dive forward. Again, they go to that hurry up, trying to catch Muskego sleeping, and I don't think they got set.
I don't think they were set.
Nope. That's the, actually it's going to be on Muskego. Offside on Muskego, I believe.
Well, a gamble there by Coach Rux.
Yeah, a little gamble going with that little speed option, if you will, a little speed, well, some colleges call it NASCAR, get your NASCAR going there. And
Coach Rux willing to gamble. Shows the confidence he has in that offensive line.
Once again, Keith Null.
Result is a first down.
So the offside call here on the Muskego defense converts a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down here for Waukesha West. 9:25 to go here in the first half. West down by 1. Scored on their opening drive. McCudden breaking tackle out across the 35 to the 39-yard line. Gain of about 5 once again for McCudden. Mitch Sutherland there, part of that dynamic duo.
Well, you saw Muskego do a blitz, like we said, out of that 3-3 set. They're usually going to be bringing one of those linebackers through a particular gap.
Second and 5 upcoming here. Ball at the 39-yard line of West. Dobrick in motion. They'll give it to McCudden again up the middle. Just shy of the first down as he climbs over the 41 to about the 42-yard line.
Now that Muskego, front wall, those front 3 guys are all very, very good. Jordan McGuire, 6'5", 295-pound senior, been to state in wrestling and track. He's flanked by Parker Thiel and Destin Vetrano.
Once again, Sutherland getting the first contact on McCudden. And again, penalty markers down. This time it'll be a false start on Waukesha West, going with that hurry up. That's a costly penalty. Takes about a 3rd and 1, makes it a 3rd and 6.
Repeat third down.
Different set coming in here now for Waukesha West. We'll see if they go with this, what they call diamond gun, and try to get a number of receivers out there.
Yeah, we'll get Dobrick along with Regenfelder and Aaron Carl out there now as at the receiver spots. So Kobza, the junior quarterback, will lead them to the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and 6 from their own 38.
Referee's in his count. They better get this play off quickly.
From the gun, Kobza angled over the middle. It was thrown behind one of the receivers, the intended receivers. That was Dobrick, and it was out of the reach of the near receiver here, Aaron Carl. Well, the Salvation Army would like to recognize Dick Klingbill. Dick is a volunteer driver for the Waukesha Salvation Army, and he has been volunteering at least 2 mornings per week for the last 19 years, driving around Waukesha County, collecting food and bread donations from area grocery stores and Brownberry ovens in Oconomowoc. Dick Klingbills is a perfect example of doing the most good for the Salvation Army and all those in Waukesha County. Congratulations to Dick on the punt here. He'll be picked up by the deep man on the punt return. And that is Zolecki, Rob Zolecki, and he's finally smothered back inside the 20-yard line. Awfully close when he tried to field that one with that knee close to the ground. If he makes contact with the ball with the knee on the ground, he's down right there.
But he was making sure that that kick didn't get a roll and bury him a little deeper in territory.
Jake Kobiski again on special teams, able to get down there and make the stop. So Muskego will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 7:21 to go here in our first half. A 7-6 ball game. Both teams scoring on their opening possessions. West opened up a 6-0 lead. Muskego went 65 yards on their opening possession for the touchdown. Starr lost control of the snap but fell on it. Lost back to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, look like they were trying to get set up to run a little quick inside trap on that one.
Again, Evan Modglin is the center. Tim Sprengel, who was the center last year, they moved him out, walked him out to left tackle.
Well, he's a bright enough young man. We noticed he had a 34 on his ACT. Yeah. Excellent score.
Yeah, he is very, very smart. 4.2 GPA to go with that 34 ACT. 2nd and 11. Try an inside handoff that time, and the West defense not fooled. They stayed home, made a nice play. And again, you talk about what they read. They read the guards and where they go.
Because they ran a little counter. The whole thing with the wing T is misdirection. Coach Krause coaches it up very well. He has a lot of confidence in his offensive line coaches. He feels he's got the best staff with whom he's worked in 20 years as a head coach.
Majority of the staff in the building. We were talking about that at practice on Monday. He's got coaches in the building all day here at Muskego High School. Quarterback around the right side out to about the 25-yard line, short of the first down. Here to make the stop. Hansen was there, along with Sam Huggett. Huggett with 10 tackles coming into the ball game tonight.
Wind's not quite as big of a factor as it was early in the game, but Muskego now finding itself punting for the second time. Waukesha West could wind up with excellent field position.
This time they'll put 2 receivers back in Hudson, number 5, and McCudden standing near midfield. Bryce Shure gets this one away. And fair catch signaled for and made. There was contact and the ball came out, but the fair catch was made or attempted there. Muskego thinks they have the football, but officials are going to sort this one out. We'll come back. We'll tell you about the result here as we'll take our commercial break here. 7-6 Muskego, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. 7-6 Muskego on top of Waukesha West midway through our second quarter here in Muskego. For all the info on the green and gold, including special guests, players, and more, watch Locker Room starting Tuesday night, 6:30 on My Place for Sports. That would be My 24. Well, the discussion here was whether or not it was a fair catch, interference with trying to make a fair catch. They've sorted this out, and they're going to give West the ball at the 49-yard line at the spot where the ball was dead.
Yeah, not quite sure what took place there.
It could have been an interference for making a fair catch as Cobra trying to air it out. We got a penalty marker thrown back at the 30-yard line on the incomplete pass.
Yeah, Cobra's
looking for Dobrik.
210-pound junior. He's obviously following in the footsteps of Connor Blount, one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Wisconsin last year. I believe he's out at Oregon State currently as a freshman.
Offensive interference here against Waukesha West. We'll take another look. There was contact back at the 32-yard line while the ball was in the air. We'll head downstairs to Mike McGivern. Mike, sort out that punt.
So Coach Rux asked for an explanation why they didn't get the penalty on that. The officials talked for a bit, came over. One official said, look, what we saw is your guy blocked him into to the receiver. I'm not sure Coach Rux believed that. He said, let me take a look at this film. And the ref said, no, we'll be okay, but that's what we saw. Back to you, boys.
Mike, thank you so much. And today now with the big screens on the sideline and then the laptops and the coaches are using, you could do that, but I think crew stands by that. 15-yard penalty, big walk-off here on the offensive pass interference to Waukesha West as McCudden tries to turn the corner left side, breaking tackles down the left sideline and steps out of bounds near midfield.
Well, that was that diamond shotgun formation. Gives them a lot of different option plays they can set up running that.
About 13 on the play for McCudden. We take another look. Not too many people can get out of a Sutherland tackle, but McCudden able to break that one there. McCudden now with 15 carries for 85 yards here in this first half.
Very well balanced in terms of how he runs.
2nd and 12. It's time to give it to Hudson, Dane Hudson. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Once again, Sutherland there. He's a tackling machine. Again, you look at this number. 85 tackles last season, 9 tackles for losses, 5 forced fumbles, and that only gets you honorable mention in this league.
Oh, the Classic 8, so tough.
I mean, most other conferences, you're player of the year.
Player of the year.
Big third down here, 3rd and 12, just short of midfield. Kobza going to air it out over the middle, looking for Dobrich, and it's out of his hands. Late part marker down. That'll be called for pass interference. But again, in high school, it's going to be stepped off from the line of scrimmage, so it doesn't go where the penalty occurred.
Kyle Hammett doesn't agree with the call against him, but
let's have another look here.
See what happens in the replay.
One more look here on the pass play. Good arm by Kobza, able to air this one out. There was a little hand-to-hand combat on the way up.
Defensive pass interference. Results of the play is
more that he probably had his back to the quarterback and called him on that.
Again, the interference, pass interference are stepped off from the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 15 yards from the line. Moves the ball down to the 36-yard line, and a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for Waukesha West. 4:22 to play here in the half. West trailing 7-6. On the move here. Now it's McCudden again. Trying to get the left side again. Got out of a Sutherland tackle. Gets to about 3 yards on the play.
Well, that's 16 carries already in the first half. Finding himself playing both ways. He's obviously in excellent shape. During the spring, he's a sprinter on the track team.
Sets up 2nd and 7. West faithful out in full force tonight here in Muskego.
First day of classes for both of these schools.
2nd and 7 from the 33. Oh, dumped from behind that time. Sutherland, we were just talking about him. He's still smarting over the fact that you get 85 tackles, 9 TFLs, and 5 forced fumbles, and I make honorable mention all conference.
Yeah, he's going to make sure they know where he is this year.
One more look here. Not much Zerpoli could do. Sutherland right in his grill almost immediately that time.
Now they had the line slant one way, and the linebackers scrape right off that into the backfield.
Another key third down here, 3rd and 7 from the 33. Kobza gets a nice pass here to the near sideline, but good pursuit that time by the Muskego defense, as Hudson, once he caught it, really had nowhere to go but to the boundary.
Yeah, good coverage. One of the positives of being in a 3-3 defense is how you can align yourself to take care of spread formations and trips formations like West used. And so the Muskego defense had that pass play covered very well.
Hammett able to get the stop that time. Sets up 4th and 6. See what West is going to do here. They will go for it here. They bring the receiving package in here now. They'll split 2 out to the left side. That's Dobrik and Carl. They just get it off. Kobza wants to set up a middle screen, gets it off to McCudden. McCudden inside the 25, going to be very close to a first down. The inside screen that time, dumping it over the middle to McCudden, and he'll pick up the Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Just enough blocking out in front that time between Gannon, the center, and Henricks, the left guard.
Muskego reacted very well. They read the screen and almost got there, but once again, McCudden, you don't bring him down with the initial hit.
Stepped out of the Spicala tackle that time to pick up the first down. 1st and 10, West, the 25. McCudden again. Tried to cut it back inside, but nowhere to go. I think it was Hammett in there, along with Sutherland. Short gain of 2, 2nd down, 8 from the 24. Clock rolling here, 2:35 to go in our first half. Kobza with time, over the middle for McCudden, touchdown West. Beautifully thrown ball by Kobza, hit McCudden in stride, and the Wolverines retake the lead.
Now, Coach Ruck said that Kobza is a strong young man and improving each and every game with how well he's throwing the ball.
2nd touchdown pass of the season by Kobza. This one to McCudden. Another good look here. Just enough on it, out past A.J. Spicala. And again, plenty of time. Give credit to that offensive line, allowing Kobza to get comfortable in that pocket. They will go for 2 because they missed the last extra point attempt. Kobza rolling out, back of the end zone, fighting for the football, and markers are down. Lots of hands, a lot of shoving going on in that corner. And we've got an injured West player down at the goal line as well.
Yeah, they lined up in a power I that time to make it look like they were certainly going to run the ball.
Looks like one of the offensive linemen for Waukesha West is down.
Is that Kyle Gannon, the center? Yes, it is.
It is Gannon, but he's back up and walking under his own power. That's always a good sign. We'll head downstairs to Kara on the sideline.
We just met Major Nelson down here as he was honoring Dick for the doing the most good, but now we've got Major Nelson De La Verge with the Salvation Army of Waukesha. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the volunteer opportunities you offer?
We certainly can. We have lots of opportunities. We have a feeding program 3 times a week. We have our food pantry 3 times a week. We also have our emergency disaster services programs that happen when disasters happen. So there's quite a few different types of programming, youth, senior, a lot of that.
Well, it seems like there's an opportunity for everybody, and if anybody's interested in volunteering, where can they go for information?
They can go to WaukeshaSalvationArmy.org and receive a lot of information right there.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight down on the field and for all that you guys do in the community.
Thank you.
And back to you guys.
Garrett, thank you so much. Waukesha West taking a timeout here. They're 2nd of the half. They have 1 remaining.
Well, the way time is going in this first half, it wasn't like you're going to have to stockpile a lot of timeouts for the end of the half because you're going to be there before you know it.
Well, this week on Faith in the Zone, former head coach at Auburn and Miami Dolphin Mike Colin will join Mike McGivern and Pastor Ken Keltner to discuss his faith and how it has affected his life professionally and personally. That's this Sunday, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., only on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. Interference was the call in the back of the end zone. Ball spotted half the distance to the goal, so it'll be put down near the 1-yard line, and West once again appears to be going for 2. Power I, and then there was movement again up front. Offside against the defense, moves the ball closer
And I don't know if Waukesha West called that timeout so they could get their center back in rather than having to change the center down on the goal line. If that was the case, a very smart move by Coach Rux. Told you he was cerebral.
Silver hair fox down there on that sideline.
Well, the son of a longtime coach at Oconomowoc, Ed Rux. So one of the fine coaching pedigrees.
Ball at the half-yard line. Again, they hustle to the line of scrimmage. They'll give it to McCudden, plows his way forward, in for 2. So McCudden with a rushing touchdown. McCudden catching the touchdown reception here and then plows in for 2. And it's a 14-7 Wolverine lead. Again, we head downstairs. Our Menard sideline interview with Mike McGivern.
Hey, Coach Kelly, you're right on the button for that. They asked the referee, sideline ref, if we take a timeout, can we get him back in? Sideline guy goes, yeah, take a timeout, we'll get him back in. Exactly what they did. Coach Kelly, you're way ahead of this stuff.
I'm not sure Mike McGivern just said something nice about me. I'm going to have to probably check if that's happened before in 3 years. No.
I've always said you made Dick Basham look really good.
No. Basham made a lot of people look good. He's one of the outstanding coaches of all time. Ask Coach Swiddle, who's doing our offensive stats. He played offensive line for Coach Basham. The only thing Coach Swiddle thought is he probably should have been a running back, but Basham once again proved his intelligence.
9-play drive taking up nearly 3 minutes. McCudden, his second touchdown of the ball game. 22-yard pass reception from Kobza.
And we have to credit Kobza on that throw. That was an excellent throw right over the top of the defender.
Medea and Kodarak standing deep. This would be a Kodarak picking this one up. Out across the 15, 20, 25, 30. Still on his feet out to the 35-yard line. Nice return. So Medea with a nice return. There to make the stop. Tajay Blackman on special teams for the Wolverines. Well, coming up at halftime, we'll highlight this week's Scholar athletes. Kara will have a chance to talk with a few of our sponsors and more. That's all during our halftime report coming your way here on My 24. 2 minutes, 16 seconds to play here in this first half. Muskego with 3 timeouts remaining here. They're going to come back over the middle. Ball deflected away and complete. Looking out here on the near side, looking for Alex Kaliznik, 6'2", 215 senior. Broken up nicely on the play by Reed Larson.
Yeah, Kaliznik was an honorable mention, a second-team all-conference receiver last year at tight end for Muskego.
So 2nd and 10 for the Warriors from their own 35-yard line. Trailing for the second time tonight now, 14-7. Hand it off. Katarik coming around the near side. Check that. That's Medea. Medea with some running room to the far sideline inside the 31 man to beat Kent. As Paul Schneider, the strong safety, finally chased Medea down into the power zone.
Well, Muskego had that unbalanced set to their left once again and brought Medea back on a little bit of a counter.
Once he got through the second wave, it was off to the races, and he just had to try and beat Schneider, the strong safety. Finally wrestled him down at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Muskego. Katarik now cuts it back at the hash mark, but he is run into and driven back that time. Hunter Albanese, the inside linebacker, 6'2", 200-pound junior, able to make the stop for Waukesha West. And we're in the Goodwill Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. 2nd down and 7. Again, they'll hand it off, and again, nowhere to go. Defense staying home that time. McCudden in on that stop. Again, Peter McCudden, 2 touchdowns tonight on offense, and he's played well defensively here tonight.
Right, I mean, you know, when you talk about who's your best player, it didn't take Coach Rucks long to come up with the name Peter McCudden.
So Muskego will take a timeout here, stopping the clock with 1:11 to go. They'll face a 3rd and 6 when play resumes. Very impressed here with West here tonight. They have played well. Again, Watertown, their first game. We talk more about that. Let's toss it to Kara for this interview.
Thank you so much. We stopped by Northwest Surgery Center. I've got Stephanie here with me. Stephanie, can you tell us a little bit about Northwest Surgery Center?
Here at Northwest Surgery Center, we specialize in minimally invasive foot and ankle surgery. This is going to include bunions, heel spurs, hammer toes, and any other foot issues you may have.
And now you've got kids that are in school. Can you tell us why it's important for Northwest Surgery Center to support the community?
Being a locally owned company, we like to support our community, and this is a great way to do it.
Well, we're certainly excited to have you a part of Thursday Night Lights this year, and thank you for taking care of our community.
Thank you so much.
And back to you.
Kara, thank you so much. They're going to be stopped close to a first down. Muskego will take their second timeout. Kotarek again on the carry. Justin Kotarek, the 6-foot junior. And so Muskego will take their second timeout. They have one remaining.
Well, Kotarek has excellent speed. He's already been to state as a freshman and a sophomore as part of Muskego's 4x100 relay team. And so far this year has 9 rushing attempts for 157 yards. That's a rather hefty average.
But getting back to Waukesha West, I know that second half last week they really wanted to erase what was going on there, and it was important for them to come out here and go toe-to-toe with Muskego here early. They were able to do that. I think they've set the tone here tonight, and the momentum has been on their side here thus far up until now.
Well, Muskego is very efficient at running this offense. So you're going to get some kind of a fake here. I don't think you're going to see the ball given to the initial runner.
Sestaro will give it to Krause around the right side, and he'll get the first down inside the 10-yard line. The clock will stop while they will move the chains here and set up a 1st and goal for Muskego.
Well, I might have been wrong. I didn't think they give it to the initial runner, but maybe that's one reason Krause won't say anything bad about his dad. Get that ball near the goal line.
1st and goal. Again, coming around the near side. Medea inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line where he is wrestled down there. Let's see if Muskego going to try and hurry up here. They have one timeout remaining. They will scramble to the line of scrimmage here. 2nd and goal. Ball at the 3-yard line. And you're going to be stopped in the backfield and driven back. Muskego going to have to take their final timeout as Krause was denied the line of scrimmage that time by a host of Wolverines. As McCudden was right there, making the initial contact, but then help came. Hunter Albanese there as well.
Yeah, Justin Baker got himself in there too. Good penetration that time. Interesting call. They're going to be out of timeouts. It's 3rd down and goal. So
we talk about the gauntlet. That's the Classic 8. Here are the next 5 games for Waukesha West after tonight.
Yeah, there's no game there you can say, oh, this will be easy this week.
Waukesha North vastly improved.
Oh, much improved.
Not a gimme there.
Muskego beat Franklin in the first game of the year. Catholic Memorial, an excellent team this year. Kettle Moraine showing they can move the ball.
You look at Muskego's 5 games, next 5 games too. It's, again, walking the gauntlet. They're at Muskego next week, then they got Catholic Memorial. Well, here we go. 3rd and goal. They're going to throw it. Sestaro throwing it to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Muskego. Medea with the catch in the back corner of the end zone. And Muskego an extra point away from tying this one up.
Well, their excellent run game that Muskego has helped set up that touchdown pass.
4th touchdown thrown by Sestaro. And Michael Medea, his 2nd touchdown reception of the year.
Yeah, Medea was lined up as a wing, was able to sneak out into the flat there.
And the extra point makes it a 14-all ball game with 9 seconds to go here in the first half.
We anticipated it would be an excellent game, and it's turning out to be the case.
Lucas Amaya with the extra point. So just over a little over 2 minutes on a 10-play drive here for Muskego to tie this one up.
It's kind of punch, counter punch. And one of the interesting little tidbits here is in the series between Muskego and Waukesha West, the home team has won all the games.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Waukesha West would like to change that tonight. I'm sure Muskego would like to defend their turf.
Yeah, West last year came from behind. I think it was 21 fourth quarter points in that victory over Muskego last year out at Waukesha West. See what Amaya will do here. With 9 seconds to go, I don't expect to kick this one deep. Just kind of chip it out there. Bobbled once and then picked up by Larson. Larson will run right into defender that time. Ran right up into the face of Shane Dombrowski, the senior linebacker on special teams for Muskego. So 1.9 seconds to go. If I'm Coach Rux, do you take the knee here and concede the 14-all tie here and head to the locker room? And
I think both coaches are going to want to sit down, go in, make their adjustments. Looks like we're in the kneel down formation.
So Kobza will take the knee, and that will end our first half. An exciting first half here in Muskego between two Classic 8 powers. Waukesha West made it to the Division II championship game a year ago, falling to Homestead. Muskego, level 3, lost to Franklin. It's just as we expected. 14-all, our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. Welcome back to our halftime report on our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center with Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, and Kara. John Weiser with you. Halftime here in Muskego. The Warriors coming back to tie the game in the final seconds of this second quarter against Waukesha West tonight. The Classic 8 conference opener this evening here in Muskego. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight two special student athletes. My 24 is proud to present our Scholar Athletes of the Week nominees. From Waukesha West, this week's Scholar Athlete is Jack Hansen. Jack competes in football and carries a 4.0 GPA. He's a member of the National Honor Society and the Football Unity Council. He's a starter on defense and plays special teams for the Wolverines. He is part of the Interact Club, community service group, and volunteers his time at food pantries, among other things. And from Muskego High School tonight, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week is Alex Kaliznik. Alex competes in football and baseball, carries a 3.94 GPA. He was selected second-team All-Conference at tight end and first-team All-Conference outfielder in baseball as a junior. He's participated in group activities like feeding the homeless through his church, and according to his coach, Ken Krause, Alex is, quote, a phenomenal leader, and, quote, says he has the best set of hands he has ever coached. Each week we'll be highlighting Scholar athletes who achieve great things on the field, in the classroom, and in their communities. And congratulations to Jack Hansen and Alex Kaliznik, our Athletes of the Week. Let's head downstairs to Kara and Andrew Burns.
Thank you so much. That's right. I have Andy of Badger Max with me down here. Now, Andy, this is your second time with Thursday Night Lights. Can you tell us how the partnership with My 24 and Thursday Night Lights has benefited Badger Max?
Yeah, it's actually been excellent. We've been able to get our product out there to the coaches, to the students, and it's been a great partnership. It's been a lot of fun. We truly appreciate it.
And can you tell us a little bit about the product, Badger Max?
Yeah, so Badger Max, it's a product that's truly a local product. All of our products are made in the state and sold in the state, and we're really proud about it.
And at the end of the night, one of the teams is going to be walking away with the Badger Max trophy. Can you tell us the story behind that trophy?
Yeah, so the trophy is actually made in Grafton, Wisconsin at Mold Dynamics, and these guys are fantastic. I think it takes about almost 36 hours to get it done. It's a beautiful trophy, and we hand one out, and we try to customize it. So after the game, it may take us a while, but we always get it to the coach.
Well, that's great. And if anybody at home hasn't ever tried Badger Max before, can you tell us what Badger Max tastes like?
Victory.
You heard it here first, guys, and back up to you.
All right. Andrew Burns, thank you so much, and the fine folks at Badger Max, our title sponsor for Thursday Night Lights. Late second quarter touchdown by Muskego has tied things up here. We're headed into the halftime here. Tied at 14, Muskego and Waukesha West. More of our halftime programming from Muskego coming your way next on My 24. Welcome back. Our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. Good one here tonight. Muskego and Waukesha West knotted at 14 apiece. We head downstairs to Kara. She's got the man in charge.
Todd Irvine, the principal of Muskego High School, down here with me. He actually just mentioned that he would rather talk to about 1,600 students than stand here with me. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Now, we were able to move tonight's game from tomorrow to the first day of school, so we're coinciding everything together. What are your thoughts on that?
We were really excited about the opportunity. I mean, what a great way to kick off your school year than getting over 3/4 of your student body to come out on a Thursday night, celebrate a great athletic event, highlight our marching band, which is second to none, our dance team, our cheer team. Look at the student section over there just getting fired up. What a great way to kick off a school year.
I agree with you. It seems like we've got the entire school out here, and we certainly appreciate you hosting it for us. And now it's your second year as principal at Muskego. How's that been going for you?
You know what, it's truly been an honor to be here. This is just a wonderful community. You might have even seen it before the game started. They come out days before kickoff even, and they put blankets out on the bleachers. They just love their sports here. They love their music. They love everything about the academics. It's been really, really exciting to be a part of this community. Very, very proud to be a part of the Warrior tradition here.
Well, we are certainly excited to be a part of that tradition now for tonight, and thank you again for hosting us.
Thanks a lot. Have a great night.
And back to you guys.
Kara and Todd, thank you so much. Welcome back to our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Northwest Surgery Center. Game tied at 14. Muskego getting a late touchdown as time winding down in that second quarter to knot this one up at 14 apiece over Waukesha West. Time now for our Army interview, and let's head downstairs to Kara.
Yeah, that's right. Once again, I've got a member of the Army with me. I've got Sergeant Harmon with the United States Army. And why did you join the Army?
Back in sixth grade, holy crap, I can't talk today. September 11th occurred, and that was a pivotal moment in my life. I decided to give back to my country, do something that was needed, and something that not a lot of young men and women would do nowadays. So that was my calling to serve.
And it's funny that you should mention September 11th because we just found out that the members of our high school, this is the first time that they haven't experienced September 11th, and it is considered a historical event. So thank you for remembering that for us tonight. And what are the basic qualifications for joining the Army?
Basic qualifications, just meet height, weight, perimeters. Make sure you're staying physically active. Stay out of trouble. Don't be getting no law like drug or alcohol violations. Make sure you don't have no felonies as well. And just stay in shape, honestly. Make sure you study in school. You can't get in without studying. You got to have a good score.
And you have experience playing youth sports like football. How did playing football prepare you for joining the Army?
It showed me that there's no I in team, honestly. You have to be a member, and every member of the team is equally as important as the first or the last, honestly.
Well, again, thank you so much for all that you've done for our country, and of course for joining us here tonight on the field. And back to you guys.
Kara, thank you so much. And Staff Sergeant Stevie Harmon, we thank you for serving your country at the United States Army. 14 all, Warriors and the Waukesha West Wolverines. Time now for our halftime highlights brought to you by the United States Army. Army strong. And strong indeed. Waukesha West taking the opening kickoff here tonight and marching it downfield. Beautiful pass play here from Kobza to Dobrik, able to set them up. First and goal at the 6-yard line.
And guess who took the ball in?
Mr. McCudden, who's been a busy man here tonight. First points allowed by Muskego this year in the McCudden 3-yard touchdown run. Muskego on their opening drive then marched at 65 yards, capped off by the Cody Krause touchdown run.
I'm sure Coach Krause enjoyed seeing his son score.
The Wolverines had missed their extra point, so they had trailed 7-6 until Kobza able to hit McCudden for his second touchdown, this time through the air from 22 yards out. A couple of penalties, and the Wolverines elected to go for 2, and it was McCudden punching it in for the 2-point conversion. That made it 14-7 in favor of the Wolverines, but Muskego not to be done. As time winding down in the second quarter, it was Sestaro able to hit Medea for the touchdown, and the extra point by Amaya tied this ball game up at 14 apiece.
Well, that touchdown pass was set up because of that run game. The outside linebacker came rushing up thinking he had to stop the run, and they slipped the back out into the flat.
You don't think Ken Krause was pumped up, do you? Our halftime highlights brought to you by the United States Army. Army Strong. Thursday Night Lights here on My 24 tonight. A Classic 8 tilt here in Muskego. The Warriors and Wolverines knotted at 14 apiece. Teams making their way back out onto the field. A whiteout night tonight. Boy, they had the baby powder really showering down on that far side just a little while ago. Just a cloud of powder through that student section in Muskego. First day of class here in Muskego, and they're enjoying it here tonight. And they should. Their team coming back to tie the game in the final seconds here of this second quarter. As we take a look at the numbers here through the first half, Terry, what stands out?
Well, I think we've seen two teams. They're pretty balanced. The rushing for Waukesha West, but Muskego is able to counter that. Wolverines are able to pass rather well. Warriors got the critical touchdown throw.
First downs even, penalties even, yardage just about even. Just the ground game for the Warriors working a little bit more effectively. And of course McCudden with his rushing tonight. 17 carries for 94 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 3 receptions for 34 yards, and a receiving touchdown tonight. Kobza 6 of 8 passing for 83 yards. Meanwhile, for Muskego, Kotarek 8 carries for 62 yards. Medea 7 carries for 72 yards rushing. He also caught the touchdown in the final seconds here of this second quarter. So what do we expect here in this second half here with Muskego getting the ball to start this second half?
Well, it'll be interesting. The first 2 games we had this year, one of the teams took over in the second half. This has been a very balanced first half. Be interesting to see just who comes out, gains the upper hand.
A shot at Steve Rux, the coach for Waukesha West, as the Ken Krause and his staff for Muskego making their way back out onto the field. And again, some great matchups in this Classic 8 tomorrow night. You got Waukesha North at Arrowhead, Catholic Memorial's at Kettle Moraine tomorrow, and Mukwonago at Waukesha South. If you recall, we had that game at Mukwonago last year, and Waukesha South came storming back in the fourth quarter and almost pulled that one out. So there's no easy game here in this Classic 8 for the next 6 weeks.
No, and it's, all of a sudden you have to get to 4 wins in your conference, and you can't chalk one up before you play it in this league.
Conference play opening up across the state and in the area. Some other notable games going on in the area. Big battles in the Southern Lakes Conference. We'll be in the Southern Lakes Conference next week in Waterford for the Waterford-Burlington matchup. But Badger is at Burlington tonight. Waterford's at Wilmot tomorrow night, I should say. And Grove at Westosha Central and Elkhorn at Delavan Dairy. And that league has really balanced up nicely between the haves and the have-nots, so to speak. It has really tightened up in that league. It's been Waterford, winning or sharing a conference title in each of the 5 years. Adam Bakken's been the head coach there.
Well, the Southern Lakes League, a number of those schools are starting to get 1,200 students in them. It's not just little towns anymore. They're emerging as those areas have expanded out from Kenosha, Racine, and so forth. So get out tomorrow night. See a great game.
Yeah, another great game at Hart Park tomorrow night. Hamilton at Marquette. Greater Metro opener.
Yeah, Marquette had a very tough game with Loyola Academy, the number 1 team down in Illinois from last year. And Sussex Hamilton won a thriller in the last 10 seconds last week over Cedarburg.
Now, while we have a moment, let's head back down to the sideline, our Menard sideline report, and Kara.
Thank you very much. I've got Jamie Beckman, the band director for Muskego High School, here with me. That was an incredible performance done by your band.
Thank you very
Can
much.
you tell us where you got that inspiration behind that performance?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2008, one of our alumnus, Keegan Calmays, he was in band here all 4 years. He's an incredible athlete, incredible musician, and he's in a band that's signed by the national record label, Fueled by Ramen. And so we thought it'd be neat to kind of develop a show around his band. So his band is featured in the middle part of our show, and then other bands that are signed by the same record label.
And, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you have been the band director for a number of years here now. Can you tell us what kind of progression you've seen there?
I've been here 14 years. We started with 90 kids, and we've grown it to over 300 kids in band here. So it's just been an awesome experience. Great place to work, great kids, great community. Love it here.
Well, certainly the way that you feel about this community and, of course, the band certainly reflects that performance tonight. So we thank you so much for your hard work and all that you've done.
Thank you very much.
And back to you guys upstairs.
Kara, thank you so much. A great halftime performance by that Muskego band, 300 members strong.
Well, 3 other members weren't in the band at halftime. Tim Springle, Evan Modglin, and Brandon Wagner. 3 of the starting offensive linemen are also members of the band. It's not often that you talk about your band averaging 260 pounds.
Well, before we kick off the third quarter, let's get back to Kara with our Goodwill interview.
Thank you so much. I've got Pat Bolter with Goodwill here with me. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the job opportunities with Goodwill?
Well, you know, when most people think about Goodwill, they think about the stores and donation centers and the fact that they can shop or donate at Goodwill. But they may not think about the fact that we offer employment. Especially if you're in high school or college, we have an array of open positions, cashiers, donation attendants, team associates, that you can work for Goodwill, for a Goodwill store, and you can work in the summer, you can work part-time throughout the school year. We offer very competitive benefits. It's a wonderful work environment, flexible scheduling. So consider Goodwill as an employer. And if you go to amazinggoodwill.com and you click on our careers tab, all the information, open positions are there, and there's probably open positions in your community.
Well, thank you so much for what you offer for the community and, of course, for supporting Thursday Night Lights.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara, thank you. We thank the fine folks at Goodwill for coming on board once again this season for Badger Mac's Thursday Night Lights. Muskego won the coin toss, deferred to the second half, so they will get the ball to start this third quarter. Kotarek and Medea standing deep for the Warriors. This will be taken by the short man up front. With some running room out across the 45 and out near midfield. Koliznik, I believe, able to take that kickoff. Alex Koliznik, our student athlete of the week this week from Muskego, able to make a play on special teams.
Well, there's those special teams that Coach Rux felt had to improve this week, and they gave up a sizable return.
Just shy of midfield to start the opening drive of our third quarter. Muskego working right to left. Frankie Sestaro with a touchdown pass tonight. He will hand it off. Kotarek stand up at the line of scrimmage that time. Good play up front by the defensive front that time for Waukesha West. And Baker, Huguet, Hansen, Kubiski up front, the 4-man front 4 we featured as our pregame tonight. Coach Rux really wanted to point them out, felt they've had a good three weeks here. Of about 2, it'll bring up second down, a long 8 here for Muskego. Ball right at midfield. This is Krause, and again, nowhere to go on that right side. Good surge by the Wolverine defense once again. Justin Baker leading the way along with Huguet.
Well, you see Muskego lining up in a full house backfield, setting up what they like to run with their dive, their belly, option out to the side, set up a little trap. And Coach Krause has many wrinkles. He works out of what looks like an old-time formation.
Amazing what you can do with basically 5 plays, right?
If you run them differently.
3rd and long. Sestaro. They'll fake the handoff to Krause, give it to the wingman coming around Medea. Medea will be stopped short of the first down, just across midfield into Wolverine territory to the Waukesha West 47-yard line. So for only the 2nd time this year, Muskego forced to punt.
And one of the things I've noticed already is that Waukesha West has been working in a couple of their offensive linemen to help fill in that defensive front at times too, get a little more beef.
McCudden and Hudson standing near their own 20-yard line. Bryce Schuer takes the low snap. End over end kick. Hudson with some room, got the edge. Getting out of bounds across the 40, out to the 41-yard line. 21-yard return out to the 41-yard line for Dane Hudson.
Well, Dane is, perhaps their fastest player. That's what Coach Ruck said. And he's averaging over 20-some yards per return for the season.
Again, this season, first downs are sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee, a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate degree majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. You can learn more at WLC.edu. Hudson again. He'll get the first play from scrimmage around the left side with some room. And just shy of midfield. Good run again by Hudson. Hammett able to track him down along with Sutherland for the Muskego defense.
Waukesha West coming out a little different formation that time, a spread. Coach Ruck said they would work in 3-4 different basic offensive sets. And at halftime, I imagine they went over, okay, here's what we think has a chance of working.
9 yards on the gain, 2nd and 1 for the Wolverines. Ball at midfield. McCudden gets the first down across midfield to the 47 of Muskego. Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for the Wolverines. Again, first man in was Vetrano, Destin Vetrano, the defensive end. But McCudden just strength, able to take him 2-3 yards down the field with him.
Well, a good surge running to that left side, and they fold their right guard around behind the center, Matt Vitale, to help get an extra blocker at the point of attack.
Peter McCudden, 5'9", 195-pound junior. Dobrik in motion. The give is to McCudden. Trying to get the edge near side, has some room. McCudden able to high step his way out of bounds short of the 40-yard line.
McCudden going to get a little rest here.
One more look. Able to pick his way down the line, and a couple of players diving in front of him. Spicala, Bryce Schuer also were there. Second and 2 for the Wolverines. All at the Warrior 39-yard line. This time they'll hand it off to the tailback Hudson, Dane Hudson. He stopped short of the first down. Sutherland again there defensively for the Warriors. Again, a reminder, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games. My24milwaukee.com. Steve Rucks, head coach for Waukesha West, looking on. His team facing a 3rd and 1. Hustle to the line of scrimmage. And spinning in and out of tackles that time. First carry tonight. That was Jordan Zhang. Zhang, a 5'7", 165-pound junior, picks up the Wisconsin Lutheran College first down.
Well, we mentioned early on in the broadcast that offensive line, you can see them just moving upfield. Coach Rucks is kind of a master of getting the blocking angles and working to free those backs.
Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the defensive coordinator at Waukesha West. Very happy with that last set of downs. He said, look, be careful. They love to throw on first down. They have not done that yet, but they're going to soon, so watch out for it. Really happy with this defense right now.
Hudson trying to get the corner. Going to be tackled behind the line. Penalty marker down as he's wrestled down. Appears to be a face mask call here against Muskego. Shane Dombrowski, the outside linebacker, the senior, may have got that hand into the face mask. A 5-yard face mask penalty here against Muskego. Get a look.
Heat one.
Right there.
5-yard face mask
Hand
on
up
the
into the
defense.
face, but did not grasp or
First
yank
down.
on it, so only the 5-yard call that time on Dombrowski. 4th penalty of the night on Muskego. So set up a 1st and 3. They'll run the draw play to Hudson. Hudson around the near side. Gets the first down and more inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. All this while McCudden getting a breather here. It's been Hudson and Zhang getting some of the carries here for the Wolverines.
Well, whereas McCudden likes to run over you, you're going to see Dane Hansen give a little shake and bake, get himself free up the sidelines.
Penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage. This will come back for a holding call, but there you go. Look at that burst of speed by Hudson once he gets the corner. Keith Nault, our referee tonight.
Holding offense. Repeat one.
So the holding call, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So they'll set it up as a 1st and 9. One of those rare calls there where the holding was downfield. So they'll spot the football at the 33 of Muskego. Again, Hudson dotting the I at tailback. Zerpoli the fullback. They'll give it to Hudson. Cuts it back inside at the hash. Wrestled down inside the 30. Kyle Hammett there, make the stop defensively for Muskego. And now McCudden will check back in for Waukesha West.
Coach Ruck's trying to be judicious in terms of how he makes use of McCudden. The guy's going both ways. Even though it's a cooler night, he's still exerting a heck of a lot of effort going through it.
Midway through our 3rd quarter, tied at 14. Waukesha West, their first possession here of the 2nd half. 2nd down, and we'll call it 6 here. The draw to McCudden, breaks a tackle. McCudden inside the 20. McCudden to the 10. McCudden to the end zone. Touchdown, Waukesha West.
We're going to see him run right through one tackle.
That rest does do wonders, doesn't it? Let's take a look at it. Bouncing outside. Broke 3 different tackles that time. Our fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. 3rd touchdown of the night for McCudden. 2nd one on the ground. The extra point is up, and it is wide left again. Oh, that could be huge here tonight. 20-14, Waukesha West. We're midway through the 3rd quarter in Muskego tonight. A Classic 8 conference battle. This time, West goes up by 6. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. Wolverines back on top, 20-14 on the McCudden touchdown run, his 3rd score of the evening. Well, it's a show featuring 2 adults, 1 kid, and no grown-ups. Don't miss 2.5 Men, weeknights at 5 and 5:30 here on My 24. McCudden, just a junior, started as a freshman. 3-year starter here for Waukesha West, and he's made his presence felt here tonight with 3 scores. Extra point, no good, so it's 20-14. Kotarek will pick it up off the ground, and he runs into a wall at the 25-yard line.
Coach Rex, was frustrated with some of the special teams play last week, and so once again they've had 2 mixed extra points.
59-yard drive, 7 plays, just over 4 minutes. McCudden, his second rushing touchdown, this one from 29 yards out.
Over 100 yards rushing in the game, probably up about 120, 125.
Talked about a little bit of a breather there early here in the third quarter. Came right out after that rest, and well, he was off to the races. Sestaro under center, 1st and 10. Play action. They want to throw on 1st down. Going to go over the middle, and they led the receiver too far, incomplete.
Well, Big Mike McGivern made that little call that the defensive coaches were warning him about that 1st down pass.
Looking for Kolesnik that time, the second team all-conference receiver from a year ago. Also our featured student athlete of the week this week for Muskego. 2nd and 10 for the Warriors from their own 26. Balanced line here to the left. They'll run to that. And Medea ran right into the arms of the defense that time. Once again, Paul Schneider, the junior safety, able to make the stop. As we head downstairs, Mr. Mike McGivern.
Hey, boys, right after the touchdown, here's what I love about Peter McCudden. Goes right to the receivers, says thanks. Man, well, good blocking. Goes to his offensive line, hits them all on the helmet. He said, boys, you keep blocking like that, I'm going to score 3 more. Man, awfully smart, a young Mr. McCudden.
Certainly is. He's been around. This is his junior year. He's been playing varsity ball at the freshman level. Play action fake. Sestaro going to dump it out. Has the receiver out there, complete. Kolesnik able to make the catch and more. Out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Gain of 16 and a 1st down to Kolesnik, the receiver.
A big conversion there. They needed to get this, keep this drive alive.
Wisconsin Lutheran College 1st down on the pitch from Sestaro to Kolesnik. Gain of 17 and a 1st down. So now Muskego, and up until tonight, had never trailed in their 2 non-conference ball games. Sestaro gets them set. It's Krause, Cody Krause with the call, and he's got nowhere to run. Just right there on the handoff was Justin Baker, the defensive lineman, right into the face of Krause as he took that handoff.
Once again, you saw as Muskego came out of the line of scrimmage, went to put their hand down, suddenly the front 4 for Waukesha West shifted over like a half man, and then the linebackers moved the other way just to goof up the blocking schemes of Muskego.
2nd and 8 from the 45. Play fake to Krause. They'll give it to Katarik. Katarik again wrapped up as he tried to get the corner on the right side. Nowhere to run there. Schneider and Baker both there defensively for Waukesha West.
You know, you're seeing kind of a chess match. One of the things you notice, Muskego is going on a longer count. So after they do their hand, put that down, and we see the shift, gives the offensive lineman time to adjust. So once again, Coach Krause, he's making his moves. Coach Rux and his defensive coordinator, Terry Beal, making their moves.
3rd down for Muskego. Late here in the 3rd. Sestaro under pressure, throws it to the sideline. It is caught by Krause. And was he in bounds? Yes, he was, and he's very close to a 1st down, and they will give it to him. 7-yard pickup and a Wisconsin Lutheran College 1st down on the pitch from Sestaro to Cody Krause. He juggled that one momentarily, but kept both feet in.
And Sestaro kept his wits about him even with the blitzer coming in.
So 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Again, Sestaro will get them set. Wants to throw, comes back near side, swings it out incomplete, looking for Katarik. Listen to the Wendy's Varsity Blitz Show presented by your local Pick and Save stores this Saturday morning at 10. Heartland Arrowhead coach Fritz Rock will join Mike McGivern and Tom Swiddle to discuss Warhawk football and this Classic 8 conference. That's on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. So a sideline warning here against Waukesha West, Coach.
It'll be interesting to see now in a 2nd and long, will we see Muskego maybe try a little screen pass.
They've started to throw the ball here in this second half. Katarik picking his way around the right side, spins his way down to the 41 of Waukesha West. Pickup of about 5 for Katarik.
Well, Muskego very willing to run into that short side of the field. You know, oftentimes the defense is going to make a field call and get their strength, but Muskego countering by running it into the sideline.
Well, they've converted on 2 big 3rd downs on this drive, facing another 3rd and 5 here. The fake to Krause. Medea trying to get the edge. Medea with the 1st down and more inside the 30 and brought down by Schneider at the 25-yard line. Nice run that time. Good patient run by Michael Medea, the senior running back.
Right, because Waukesha West had the defensive flow, but Medea just kept going, waiting his time. Enough speed. Quick cutback. 1st down.
3rd straight 3rd down conversion on this drive for Muskego. 1.5 to go here in the 3rd. Muskego to the 25 of Waukesha West. Play fake, Sestaro going over the middle, and it is intercepted. Penalty marker down. There was contact. Schneider comes away with the interception, but I believe it's going to be whistled for the interference.
Yeah, Waukesha West fans yelling for them to pick up the flag. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Wishful thinking.
Pass interference on the Wolverines. We'll take one more look. I thought there was contact just before the ball got there. Up right there. Saw the hand on the shoulder on Kalisnik, the intended receiver. So Schneider flagged for the interference, negates the interception, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, moves the ball down to the 10-yard line, so we're in the power zone here for Muskego. Power zone brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. This will be a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line for the Warriors. Long count here by Sestero. Again, they'll fake to Krause. Again, Medea breaks a tackle in the backfield, but is stopped short of the 10-yard line. Nice play on the defense once again. It looked like it was Anthony Karpowitz able to get in there.
That's a little part of that
and
belly
McCudden
series.
as well.
A little part of that belly series. Fake it to that 1st back, give it to the 2nd back, going one hole wider.
McCudden going both ways, plays linebacker and running back. 2nd and goal. Under a minute to go here in the 3rd. Again, Medea. Medea breaks a tackle, gets it inside the 5-yard line. Original contact provided by Albanese. Reed Larson able to cover him up. So once again, 3rd down situation here for Muskego. Converted on 3 clutch 3rd downs on this drive, trying to take advantage of the interference penalty that set them up 1st and goal. 3rd and goal from the 6. Medea cuts it to the 5, touchdown Warriors. Medea, his second touchdown tonight, this time coming on the ground, ties the game at 20 apiece.
When we see the replay of this, you're going to see some excellent blocking on the outside by the wingback. Comes down, blocks that defensive end, they pull a guard. Nice alley for Medea to run through.
Extra point is on the way, and that one is good. Muskego takes the lead here late in the third. Medea, his second touchdown. This one a 6-yard touchdown run. He had a 3-yard touchdown reception to end that second quarter. Now finds the end zone here late in the third.
When we were out at Muskego's practice during the week, one of the things we saw was Coach Krause working specifically with those wingbacks, just first of all on their steps, practicing 3 basic steps to get in position to make that seal block on the outside. So once again, paying attention to details results in a score.
An impressive drive here for Muskego. 4 third-down conversions on this drive.
Right. We used the phrase earlier in the game, punch, counter punch, and that's been very much the case here tonight.
Muskego fans enjoying this one, a 10-play, 74-yard drive that took nearly 5.5 minutes off the clock. A 6-yard run by Medea, his second score tonight.
The wind not as much of a factor now, that flag close to being limp, so when we flip it at the quarter, I don't know if it had that much of an impact.
Larson, Hudson, and Leitner standing deep. This will be Larson from the 12. Across the 20. And goes down near the 25-yard line. And that will end our third quarter here in Muskego. A good one shaping up here. You'll want to stick around for the fourth quarter, a Classic 8 opener. Muskego and Waukesha West. Warriors up by 1. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center. We're in Muskego tonight, start of the fourth quarter. Warriors leading Waukesha West 21-20. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center. Mike McGivern and Kara down on the sidelines. Terry Kelly, John Weiser up in the booth with you tonight. Hope you're enjoying this one. Fumble on the snap. Kobza able to pick it up, nowhere to go. Kobza gets belted out of bounds near the 15-yard line. A bad snap that time. I think for the second time tonight they had trouble on the exchange.
Trying to run that speed sweep.
When Kobza finally picked up that ball, there was really nowhere for him to go, and Vetrano and company able to bring him down for a loss back at the 15-yard line. So to bring up 2nd and 20 here for Waukesha West. McCudden alone back in the backfield. This time Kobza will run the draw. Get some of that back, get at least 5 back as he stood up at the 20-yard line. So now a 3rd and long situation here for Waukesha West as you look at the defensive staff, the coaching staff for Muskego working that sideline.
Yeah, Muskego very much would like to force this punt. Feel like they're getting the momentum shifted in their way. If they could put another score, especially with that missed extra point, that'd be crucial.
Robert Kobza will lead them to the line of scrimmage. He'll work from the gun, 3 receivers to the left. Kobza with time, coming back over the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off here on the near side by Shure. Shure up the middle across the 30, 25-20. Shure caught from behind at the 12-yard line. Chasing him down, Brian Dobrik, the flanker. But Kobza throws the pick. Bryce Shure with the interception.
Now that fumble on that first play really put Waukesha West behind the 8 ball.
Great job by Dobrik to chase him down, tried to punch that football out, try and get the turnover back the other way. But now Muskego, 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line in the Goodwill Power Zone. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Again, Medea, but the play will be whistled dead on a penalty. False start penalty on Muskego will set them back 5 yards, moving out to the 16-yard line.
Dead ball. False start.
Well, Coach Swiddle gave us a little stat from that last drive. They had 2 first downs by passing. You know, Muskego knows that this year they need to get their passing game stepped up. They had a graduating group of 4 seniors who accounted for over 3,200 yards rushing last year.
That was what? Colin O'Neill with almost 1,100 yards rushing. Led the way there. This is Medea again, down to the 10-yard line. We'll get those 5 yards back. Well, he's had quite a ball game tonight, Medea.
Right, he comes in from that wing position or split back, brings that ball back into the middle. Once again, they like to get a guard or a tackle pulling to lead through that hole.
2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. Again, Medea coming around the left side off the fake to Krause. Stacked up there nicely. Justin Baker there on the stop, the 6'2 junior defensive lineman. So to bring up a third, we'll call it 10 from the 11-yard line. Krause in the backfield along with Medea. And there was movement up front. Another penalty here against Muskego. Another costly mistake, this time on the left side of the line.
Once again, I don't know if the shifting by the Waukesha West down lineman on defense caused one of the offensive linemen for Muskego to move.
Start. Repeat 3.
So 3rd and 15 from the 16-yard line. They can get just inside the 1 for the first down. Play fake, Sestaro coming around the near side is met and drilled down at the 10. Nice play defensively. Jack Hansen, one of the linebackers right there, popped the helmet off of Sestaro, and because it came off, he won't be able to participate in this next play. He's got to come off the field.
And Hansen stayed at home that time. He didn't, even though the flow was away from him, he knew to stay. We honored him before the game. 4.0 GPA. He's the man that aligns the defense.
Amaya on for the field goal attempt. It is on the way, and it is good. So a 27-yard field goal for Lucas Amaya. He's now 3 for 4 in the field goal department this year. Able to drill that one through, and it makes it a 4-point game, 24-20 Muskego. That's important. How important is that missed extra point now by West here?
Well, Coach Rux, said early on that the special teams are going to play a major role in determining the winner of this game. And the way teams control the ball, this rest of the fourth quarter, a little over 8 minutes left, it's going to be gone before you know it. So this drive has to result in a touchdown for Waukesha.
So the sure interception converted into 3 points. And it's a 4-point ball game, 24-20. All season long, Mike and Kara have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in the schools and communities we visit. Our sideline reports being brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. The only turnover of the ball game turns into 3 points here for Muskego.
I'm sure Waukesha West would like to see Dane Hudson get this and return.
Maya's boot. Hudson just into the goal line, into the end zone for the touchback. That left foot broke the plane of the goal. Again, the momentum taking the receiver into the end zone results in the touchback. As you see, the 3 plays taking over 2 minutes with the Amaya 27-yard field goal. So Robert Kobza throwing the interception. Let's see if he gets right back to work here. He'll have McCudden and Zerpoli in the backfield. Two receivers split to the near side. One of them in motion, that's Dobrich to the far side. The give is to McCudden. McCudden bowls his way across the 20 out to the 23 before he is driven back there. The bottom of that pile for the Warriors, Mitch Sutherland. He's been busy tonight, as has McCudden. 10 tackles now for Sutherland tonight.
There's plenty of time left for Waukesha West. Matter of fact, I think they'd love to use all but 10 seconds of it to get it down to the goal line.
Kobza under center. Dobrich in motion. Wants to throw. Steps up, delivers, but belted immediately at the 26-yard line was the receiver. Pass completed out there to Tajay Blackman. His first catch tonight. Had one stripped away earlier by Hammett. Broke up a pass earlier. Well, critical third down here. 3rd and 4 from the 24. West counting down here. The back judge is already counting down. They're going to just get this one off, and they just do. Play fake. Kobza tossing it out and incomplete. Looking out to that far sideline again. This time it was Jacob Otteson, the tight end. And now a 4th down here for Waukesha West. Trailing by 4, I think the prudent thing to do would be to kick it away, put it back in the hands of your defense here.
Yeah, they don't have a real choice here. If you miss this one, you're really setting Muskego up with tremendous field position. But if you're ever going to hit an excellent punt, now's the time.
Here's the punt coming up. Cressy will get this one away. It will bounce, roll across midfield and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's where Muskego will take over. First, though, let's go to Kara and visit with our fine folks at Menards.
Thank you so much. I've got John Griffiths, the store manager of the Germantown Menards, here with me. Now, John, can you tell us a little bit about Menards?
Menards is a family-owned and run company with the general office right here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We've got 300 stores throughout the Midwest, 12 stores in the Milwaukee area, including ours right here in Germantown.
And why is it important for Menards to be a part of initiatives like Thursday Night Lights?
Menards definitely understands the hard work and dedication it takes from our student athletes to achieve their goals both on the field and in the classroom, and we really appreciate all the support they get from their families, the coaching staff, their teachers, the community, and we're really proud to be a part of that support.
Well, we're glad to have you on board with us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara, thank you, and we thank the fine folks at Menards for jumping on board once again this year for the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. Well, Justin Baker having a fine night as well defensively. That's 5 tackles for him tonight at the defensive line position. Loss of 1 by Kodarak. It's now a 2nd and 11, and we got a timeout taken by Muskego. Muskego's first time out here of the second half. We will take our break as well. 24-20, Warriors on top of the Wolverines. Our Classic 8 matchup tonight, the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. (24-20), Muskego on top of Waukesha West midway through the 4th quarter here in Muskego. 2 FBI agents investigate the strange and unexplained. Don't miss the cult classic, The X-Files, Thursdays at 7, starting October 20th on My 24. And Waukesha West jumps into the neutral zone. Justin Baker breaking the neutral zone, so he was drawn off. It'll be a false start penalty against Muskego once again.
That was almost simultaneously.
Yeah.
That was a tough one for the officials to call.
Matt Faust on that tight end, the junior, ruled to jump first. 2nd and 16 for Muskego. Ball at their own 41-yard line. A fake to Krause. They'll give it back to the Medea, and nowhere to go. Mr. McCudden said not so fast. It's 5 tackles tonight for McCudden, playing both ways. The only player for Waukesha West that plays both sides of the ball.
Right. And here's one of those third downs. So far, Muskego has been able to convert critical third downs. This is the one that's going to probably determine the outcome of this game.
3rd and 20. Give it to Krause, the fullback. He'll bust his way across the 40 out to the 43-yard line. Moving the POW forward, so at least giving them some manageable room here on 4th down.
Well, they tried to hit it, just a quick little trap, hoping that, Waukesha West would be looking for the pass, and Waukesha West held the ground.
Couple of dangerous receivers standing back near the 25-yard line. Dane Hudson, Peter McCudden. Awaiting the punt here from Bryce Schur. Hudson will take at the 21, across the 25-30. Dives forward out to the 34-yard line. So good field position here for Waukesha West. Yeah, I know we were just talking up here. It looked like he signaled for the fair catch, but
the hand went up. I didn't see it wave. That might have been the only thing that saved him from getting that called as a penalty. Maybe he thought he was back in class today.
So, 1st and 10, Wolverines from their own 34-yard line. Yeah, he did wave his hand, it looked like. 4:40 to go, trailing by 4. McCudden coming around the near side, not going to get there. Big play defensively there. Look, it was Sutherland there. Might have been Dombrowski as well. It was Dombrowski the first man there.
Well, that time running to the sideline didn't work so well. Sometimes that sideline can be your 12th defender.
Set down to the sideline, Mr. McGivern.
So, guys, standing down at the end of the end zone is Jeff Trickey. He is a quarterback guru coach, and he's as nervous as if he was coaching here today.
McCudden with the run across the 35 out to the 37-yard line. Got nothing to be nervous about.
No, but Coach Trickey used to run quarterback camps all around the country.
Yep.
And many young men learned how to play that position well under his tutelage.
Another critical 3rd down here for West. 3.5 minutes to go in the ball game. They trail by 4. 3rd and 6 from their own 34.
Well, it's definitely going to be two down territory for Waukesha West.
From the gun, they'll hand it off. McCudden looking for some room. Gets it upfield. McCudden's second effort, first down. A little second effort after contact was made. Picks up the Wisconsin Lutheran College first down.
Now that clock's going to become a factor because they're going to dip under 3 minutes after this snap.
Zalicki just happened to be in the way that time of McCudden. Didn't really bring him down, just kind of got in the way. So 1st and 10, Wolverines from their own 47. This time it's Hudson. Hudson across midfield into Muskego territory at the 48 of the Warriors. Gain of about 5 on the play for Hudson. West with 3 timeouts remaining here, trailing by 4.
Making a little change on defense. I believe 59 came in at the nose man for Jordan McGuire, getting a little tired.
Around the far side with it. That is Jordan Zhang, second carry tonight. Gets it down to the 45-yard line, short of the first down. Pickup of about 3, sets up a 3rd and a long 2 here for Waukesha West. McCudden coming out. McCudden, not sure if he's hurt, but going to get a breather here. So it'll be Hudson at the tailback position here on a critical 3rd down. Hudson darts his way over the right side and is going to be close. He's going to be short here, but officials will stop the clock here with 1:42 remaining. They're going to bring the sticks in, I believe, for a measurement. So McCudden being tended to here on the Wolverine sideline. So take a look at that effort by Hudson, able to slip through the Addison Price tackle. They're going to stretch it out. It's going to be close. Any part of that football touching the stick. 1 link shy. Going to put that little card in there. While they figure this out, let's go down to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, watching what they're working on with Peter McCudden, he's cramping up. He's been on the field a lot, both offense and defense. He's cramping up a couple of different places on his legs. He thinks he can continue to play, but he's hurting.
Now they're going to need him here in 4th and inches. 2 links shy of a 1st down. Ball game on the line. 1:42 to play. Wolverines down 4. And timeout taken by Steve Rux and Waukesha West. I want to talk about it here. Maybe buy a little bit more time for Mr. McCudden.
I think that's very much
his
what
wits
they were
about
doing.
him.
This is one of those plays where head coaches earn their money. Some of the people sitting in the stands think they know exactly what to call, so sometimes you say, okay, we'll fake the dive, pop it to our tight end, nobody will be there. But then you do that, you don't make the connection, and everyone in the stand said, boy, you're the dumbest person in the world. Why didn't you give it to that running back and just smash it ahead?
Rux, 71% winning percentage, 714 winning percentage, I should say. 90 wins in his career. Got to the Division II state title game last year, falling to Homestead. Game in which they got down early in that contest. It was like 21-0, and we were talking about that, the drive, so to speak, in that second half, that 11-minute touchdown drive by Homestead that
iced the game.
Iced the game, you're right. 4th and inches. And Kobza keeps it, should have the 1st down. Quarterback sneak by Kobza as they unpile. See where they spot that football. They pulled it back just a little bit. Wow. It is a 1st down. Keith Nault, the referee, signaling 1st down. A Wisconsin Lutheran College 1st down, a critical one here to keep the game alive here for the Wolverines. Then they trail by 4. Clock is rolling here. 1.5 to go.
And unfortunately, you have Mr. McCudden on the sidelines.
It'll be Hudson at the tailback with Zerpoli, the fullback. Play fake to Hudson. Kobza going downfield. Ball is tipped and it's incomplete. Intended for Finley Schumacher, the tight end, into double coverage that time and knocked away incomplete. Might have been John Seapluk, who made the deflection that time defensively for the Warriors.
Right, and they had 2 defenders right in the area. You'll see him going back. Schumacher, a tall, 6'5", 215-pound junior.
Clock stop, 1:13 to go. 2nd and 10 from the Muskego 43-yard line. Kobza will give it to McCudden. McCudden inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. And they'll call a quick timeout here. So West will take their 2nd timeout. One more look here. Shy of the 1st down. A good strong run by McCutcheon. Again, cramping up earlier. Taken down by Zolecki that time. So West now with 1 timeout remaining. They face a 3rd and 1 from the Warrior 34-yard line. Down 4, so they need the touchdown here late. Try and pull this one out.
Well, Jim Mickling, the defensive coordinator for Muskego, probably trying to decide, okay, am I going to bring a lot of pressure this time? Try to stop them and force them to take that last time out if we can hold them?
Dobrich and Carl split out to the right side. McCudden dotting the I at tailback. 3rd and 1, the pitch to McCudden. And McCudden picks up the first down and more, breaks a tackle down the sideline and gets out of bounds at the 17-yard line, make it the 18-yard line, and a first down for Waukesha West.
Heads up play by McCudden because he knew if he tried to cut back inside, he'd be tackled in play, the clock would run, took it out of bounds, haven't gotten the first down.
Again, breaking 3 different tackles before going out of bounds. Bryce Schuer just couldn't get him down. Under a minute to go. We're in the Goodwill Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Now mark it at the 18, 1st and 10 Wolverines. Again, McCudden up the middle, inside the 15, brought down at the 14-yard line. And the clock still rolling here. Now a timeout. West will take their final timeout here with 47 seconds to play. And again, they need the touchdown to take the lead.
And I would imagine as soon as they get the first down, if they can get that, they'll clock the ball, buy themselves some time.
McCudden tonight, a couple of touchdowns, 2-point conversion. He's made 5 tackles on defense. Coming back from cramping here in this 4th quarter.
And once again, this timeout is critical to let him a little more rest.
So the Wolverines out of timeouts. 47 seconds to play. They've got a 2nd and 6 from the Muskego 14-yard line. They trail by 4. Then that missed extra point looming large here. McCudden breaks a tackle inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Wolverines. Clock will stop while they reset the chains on 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Coley with a good block there. McCudden around the near side. McCudden out of bounds at the 1. Sutherland and Schuer taking him out of bounds short of the goal line.
That's a very tired but a very determined young man there, number 22.
One more look. Simple toss going to the short side, and McCudden just couldn't punch it in. 2nd and goal from the 2. McCudden diving forward, stops short. Down at the 1. Again, they've got to unpile quickly here. No timeouts remaining. They quickly get them set. McCudden, 2nd effort, did not get in. No signal by the officials. They've got to hurry up and unpile. West is out of timeouts. Now they'll stop the clock with 4.8 seconds. McCudden denied the goal line that time. You're going to have to stop play. McCudden, I believe, is going to have to come out. One more look. No, he was down. He was down before the goal line.
You can't call it.
Get up to the line of scrimmage. They've got to hurry up. They just get the snap. Diving over. Ball is loose. Touchdown, Waukesha West. Wow, what a finish. West has won the ball game. No time on the clock. Final play. Kobza for the touchdown.
He extended that ball out as he was trying to get across the goal line.
He broke the plane of the goal before he lost control. Clearly in. And Waukesha West on the final play of the game defeats Muskego here tonight. Remember that name, Kobza.
Well, I think we'll also remember the name McCudden. Combination,
as well,
but Kobza, game on the line, in the surge by that offensive line to give him a little, just that enough room.
So a wild one here tonight as West comes from behind on the final play of the game. Kobza going over from the 1 yard line. And your final tonight, 26-24. One more look. Gets that ball over the plane. And the Wolverines go to 2-1 on the year, 1-0 in the conference. Muskego falls to 2-1, 0-1 in the conference. And that's sportsmanship right there. McCudden getting pat on the back from his opponents here tonight. What a game tonight by McCudden. Wolverines pull this one out. We'll take a break. Back with our post game. We'll have our player of the game and the awarding of the trophy coming your way next. Just another night in the Classic 8 Conference, right, Terry?
Well, Muskego feels horrible losing this game at the very end, but they're going to be a force in the conference race as well. Two excellent teams went toe-to-toe.
And it came down to the final play of the game. Kobza going over from the 1 to win this one here tonight. 26-24, your final, Waukesha West over Muskego. Let's head downstairs. Mike McGivern, our player of the game tonight.
Hey, guys, I'll tell you what, this whole team should get this. But number 22, he wears this number proudly. McCudden family, this 22, I'm telling you, they're going to hang that up a couple years from now when he's done. 42 carries, $189, 3 touchdowns, ton of tackles on defense. All he wants to talk about is his line. Man, he's a good young kid. Congratulations, U.S. Army player of the game.
Thank you, sir. We had a plan out here. We knew we had to come out aggressive against these guys. They were a good team. Our O-line and fullback did a great job of hitting the seams. I was able to get through, make some good plays. It was definitely a team effort tonight, and we pulled through after the second half with adversity.
The sweat equity you guys put in the weight room in the offseason shows in games like this. You're going to be a little sore tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, we will, but, that's a good sore because we got this win, and it was a team win, and we're going to be happy about this one.
Karen's going to take good care of you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. U.S. Army player of the game.
On behalf of the U.S. Army, congratulations. Heck of a game.
Yeah. Hey, go, boys. Back to you, boys. Back.
Peter McCudden, our player of the game tonight. We saw a little bit of the highlight package on McCudden tonight. 2 rushing touchdowns. Here it is again. His 26-yard touchdown run. He had 29 carries tonight, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, a 2-point conversion. Also caught a touchdown pass tonight. Played both ways, was the linebacker on defense, made 5 tackles tonight as well, was cramping up here in the fourth quarter, converted a couple of clutch 3rd and 4th downs on this drive to allow them the opportunity to win this football game.
And you notice the type of young man he is. Right away he wanted to defer any praise from him to his teammates, and I think that speaks volumes.
Well, let's head down for the trophy presentation, our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights trophy, and Mike McGivern.
So, guys, for years on my high school show, I've talked about this conference as the best high school football conference in the entire state of Wisconsin. I mean, there's no doubt, right? That was one of the best high school football games I've seen, Coach.
It was a great game, and guys kept believing, kept on fighting. We were able to get it done in the end.
Man, this team's going to be tired and sore, but as Peter McCudden said, it's a good tired and sore after a win like that. A lot of respect for that Muskego bunch.
Yeah, they played great. We were able to move the football against them. They had the pick at the end there. But our defense, stepped up and was able to get a stop, and we were able to get that last drive. But we expect nothing less from Muskego. It's a good football team. It's always a barn burner when we play against those guys. And we were fortunate to come out with a win.
Man, anytime we have you on My 24 Thursday Night Lights, it comes down to something like this. We need to get you guys on more often, I think.
Well, absolutely. Every Thursday. Let's go.
There you go. Hey, the Badger Max Trophy.
Coach, great game. Awesome game. Thursday Night Lights all the way. Way to go.
All right, thank you.
There you go, boys.
Andrew Burns presenting our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights trophy to Waukesha West tonight. What a ball game. 26-24, scoring the touchdown as time expired on the 1-yard quarterback keep by Kobza.
Well, the first time in this series where the visitor has won.
26-24, back with a final word from Muskego right after this. (26-24) the final tonight. Waukesha West coming from behind on the final drive. The final play of the ball game, a 1-yard dive by the quarterback. Here's the quick recap of our ball game here tonight. McCudden got things going early, getting the touchdown, one of 3 on the ground tonight by Peter McCudden, our Army Go Strong player of the game. And then the missed extra point. That was key. That's what set up this second half. Muskego was able to drive, and Medea with the touchdown and the extra point made it 21-20. Kobza, though, on this play here, trying to toss it out, got picked off. Intercepted by Schur. Schur able to return it inside the 20-yard line. I think it's just shy of the 10. A couple of penalties and one bad play, and then they had settled for the 27-yard field goal. That made it 24-20 in favor of Muskego. And then on the final drive, Kobza, going over as time expires, wins the ball game 26-24. We can only hope that it's going to be just as exciting next week in Waterford as their Wolverines take on the Burlington Demons in a Southern Lakes Conference battle. Make sure you tune in next Thursday night at 7 right here on My 24. Burlington at Waterford. My thanks tonight to Eric Murray, our spotter, Tom Swiddle on stats, to Kara and Mike McGivern on the sidelines, and Terry Kelly on color tonight. I'm John Weiser. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to our My 24 sports crew. It was our pleasure to bring you this thriller tonight, 26-24, Waukesha West. See you next Thursday in Waterford on My 24.
Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Northwest Surgery Center. Menards. And by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM The Fan.